Hi and welcome to my channel. If you like what you see, please feel free to subscribe to the channel below. If you have any comments or questions, then please feel free to put them in the comments or questions section. Whilst you're on my channel, please have a look at some of my other videos and let me know what you think. Hi folks, and welcome to my first video log that I've ever done. My name's Steve and I'm creating these video logs because I want to go on a bit of a journey, I suppose. I want to learn about photography. For me, it all started about 6 years ago when I purchased my first drone. I currently own two. I have a Phantom 3 Advance and a Phantom 4 Pro. I love them to bits. I think they're great tools. And I am a currently licensed PFCO holder, so I do make a commercial living, albeit a small one, out of it. And a lot of the work that I do is commercially based. Now, the majority of the time, there isn't that much need for composing the shots. There isn't that much need for a high quality colour return on the image. Majority of the customers that I have just simply want the image. And it's not always needed that you need to compose an image. You need to make sure that the image has the right colour balances and stuff like that. So about 2-3 years ago, a friend of mine suggested, well, why not go about it the different way? Instead of trying to learn about the camera on the drone, why not learn about how a camera works and how it operates using a handheld digital camera and apply that to the drone. So that's what I've decided to do, and that's where I hope that you will all come in handy, because I'm not the kind of person that can learn by reading textbooks. I never have been. I'm always a hands-on type of learner, and I do go out a lot with the camera and I try and take as many pictures as I possibly can, but I seem to struggle in some areas. I had thought about signing up to an online course, and I did one which I didn't really find that good, so I'm a little bit unsure as to what to do next. So I decided to create this video log, and what I'm hoping to do is to take you along with me about learning about cameras and then applying that to the work I do with the drone. So I thought I'd explain a little bit about the equipment that I bought. When I decided to buy a camera, I did a little bit of research. I wanted something that was affordable but not too expensive. And so I decided after a bit of research to buy this. It's a Canon 1300D. And I know there's a lot of photographers out there who will swear by Nikon, who will swear by Panasonic, and who swear by Canon. For me, this is the first DSLR that I've had. I actually like this. I like it a lot. I find it very easy to use. The camera body itself is quite light. The camera lenses again are quite light. It came as a basic package, and so it works quite well, I think. Now, on the top of the camera, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, you have a dial at the top, and I'll put a small link in on the pictures as well. And then on the back you have an LCD screen. Now, the LCD screen gives you all kinds of information, and I'm going to read the manual for this. So you have, across the top, you have the shooting mode, which for me is always in manual, the shutter speed, and then you have the ISO, the aperture setting and the ISO. You also have what's called the exposure level indicator, which is on the next row down. You then have the picture style type, the white balance, and the auto lighting optimizer, and whether the flash is up or down. I tend to keep the flash down. I have a separate flash button there for me. You have the autofocus operation. Again, I keep this in single shot for my own personal preferences. Although the actual shooting type I tend to keep a little bit different, because I have, or the drive and the drive type. So I like the option of having the ability to press the button and continue to take pictures until I decide to release it, and that's the way it works best for me anyway. I tend to keep the images in both JPEG and RAW, and this camera allows you to do both. And then there is the basically the image recording quality. I tend to keep that as large as possible because I like to have larger prints. The metering mode is always one that does bother me a little bit, and you know, it is something that will come to a bit later on, I'm sure. So that's enough about the actual information on the camera. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the lenses. Now, let's say I bought this as a kit. It cost about £400, and it came with two lenses. It came with this one, which is an 18 by 55mm, and it came with this one, which is a 75 by 300. Again, I like both of these lenses. They are cheap. They're not expensive lenses at all. They came as the kit. I tend to use them quite a lot. But the more I got into photography, the more I came to realize that it isn't just about having two lenses. You need extra bits as well, and that's why a lot of people, I think, are put off by photography, because it can be quite expensive. So I do have a number of other lenses. I have a 28 by 80. Again, I bought this second hand off an auction site, so that's a second lens I've got. I have a, whatever this one is, a 50mm f 1.8. Again, a second hand purchase, so don't think that second hand necessarily means broken, because it doesn't. And I have this one. This is a it's an f2.8 24mm. Well, I believe they call them pancake lenses. And again, I've used all of them. What I'd like to know your thoughts on is whether or not, or what's the best way to learn about the lens, because that's a phrase that I hear a lot about learning about what the lens can do, what the lens is capable of doing. And so that's the first thing I'd like to ask you, so please again comment on that. The next piece that I bought was a flash gun. I tend not to use the flash on the camera. It can be very bright, it can be very overpowering, and again, my friend suggested buy one of these. So I bought, again, a second-hand one from a photography shop, and it's a Kenro Speed Flash, and it works really well. I have used it before. It does add a new level of complexity when you're using the camera, because you've not only got to figure out the settings for the camera, but you also have an LCD screen with a number of different settings on the back of here. So that's something that you have to think about for that. And then finally, because I did a lot of landscape photography, I bought a set of filters, and these are them. They're very simple. I know how to use these. These are alright. These are ND filters, and they're graduated, so you can see, obviously, they have a darker area and a lighter area. And majority of the time, it's for taking taking images, for example, like a landscape photo where you have a bright sunrise or a sunset and you want it to tone down a bit, so you use the filters, and that's what I use them for. My main question is, I was given some extra bits when I bought one of the lenses. The gentleman thought I might use them as I'm starting out in photography, but I'm not entirely sure what they're for, and he wasn't very clear on that. And I'll put some pictures on the video as well, so you can have a look. But I'd like to know what people think about them. So the first ones I have are these. Now, it's a set of 4. Comes in a little container like this, and they're basically marked up as 52mm close up. So you've got a number 4, number 2, and a number 1, and then there is a Sigma achromatic macro lens. So my question is, with all of the lenses, is do you use them individually? Can you use them all together? How do you use them, and what would you use them for? What's the best way to use them? Because it isn't something that I'm particularly found a lot of information on. So I'm assuming that they are an older photography tool. Do they get used? Are they of any interest to anyone? What are they for? I have a number of different ones. Some of them come in little cases like this. So for example, there's an adapter ring here, but there's also a lens which is a +2, a Hoya +2. Again, I'm not entirely certain what they are. So if you could, I'll put pictures of all of them because there are a couple more. If you could just comment as to what you think they're for, what they do, that would be great. Would be much appreciated as well. So that's particularly the equipment that I've got. Now I'm going to add on to the end of this some videos, some pictures that I've taken already, and I'd like your opinions on those pictures, and I'll number them individually so that you'll see them. So when you comment, you can put picture number 1 and then put your comments. That's the whole idea. And then what I'll try and do is at some point I'll try and redo that image if I can, because some of them I can't redo, with your suggestions, and that I think will help me to learn, and possibly yourself as well. So that's it basically. Aside from one last thing, what I did find as a great resource, and I believe I'm allowed to do this, so I'm going to do it anyway, was on Amazon, was a series of cheat sheets, photography cheat sheets, instant one-page guide, a ready reference guide for photographers. Now, I absolutely think this is brilliant, and what I've done is I've printed them out and then I've laminated them, and I take them with me wherever I go so that it gives me help and tips. And this is them here. This is what I've laminated and what I keep with me. So it gives you tips. It tells you about basic operation of a camera, what different lenses do, how a camera works. There are shooting modes explained, which is a great one. You have the quick guide to the LCD display at the back of the camera. They're not specifically, I don't believe, for any one camera, but they are great. Exposure, brighter and darker. There's shutter speed. It explains about that. Color toning, lighting, portrait lighting. There is all sorts. So I haven't got a link for it, but if you look on Amazon and just type that in, I'm pretty sure that's what you'll come up with that. And like I said, there's about, I don't know, about 20 pages or so, and I think it's about £3 or £4 on Amazon. Great piece of kit, great instructions. I look forward to your comments. I will, like I say, try and redo some of the pictures or something similar to them, so let me know what you think about the pictures. If you have any comments or any suggestions for a type of picture that you'd like me to try with the equipment that I have, because I can't afford to go out at the moment and buy new stuff, so then please let me know. Just add it to the comments and subscribe to the channel. So until next time, this is my first video log. Hopefully it won't be my last, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.